Hey guys, how's it going? I feel like I've made this video before on the channel, but I'm not 100% sure. I think I have, but I don't think I have at the same time. So, well, that and at the time I made it, I probably didn't know what the hell I was talking about. So there you go. Today I'm going to talk about a topic I get asked about constantly, and I mean constantly. What is the difference between a riding mower and a garden tractor? Now, they have zero turns, which is a different category. And then they have the little ride-on mowers that have the engine in the back and it's just a steering wheel in the front, really small wheels, and they're kind of their own category too. Difference between a riding mower and a garden tractor. We take a look at these two right here. These two are garden tractors. That one right there is a 140. That one right there is a 112. Now you can see also, if you take a look at the 140, it's got a rear blade on the back of it. You can see for doing dirt work and doing stuff around the yard with driveway and other things like that. And you can also see over here on this 140 that I have that has given me lung cancer with a tiller on the back of it. These are examples of garden tractors right here, and I want you to take a good look at that frame right there. Look how thick the frame is underneath of the tractor right there under the engine. Get a good look at the frame on that tractor over there as well, how thick that frame is. Now we come back over here. This is a riding mower, as you can see. Get a good look at that. Now one thing I'm sure you've probably noticed right away is the wheels on here are a lot smaller than they are on those tractors over there. That is one way to spot a mower or a riding mower opposed from a tractor is the tire size. They tend to have smaller tires, where the bigger tractors tend to have bigger wheels. Also, another thing I'm sure you've probably noticed on those two is they both have lug bolts in the back with actual hubs, as opposed to what this machine has. Now, you will see this is a good way to judge, but at the same time, it's not a good way to judge. You will see some riding mowers like this, about this size, that have lug bolts on them or even lug nuts. And yes, they're hubs, but however, it's not a real hub. The way that this is set up and those are set up is they have a key. They have a keyed shaft in here that comes out of the rear end. I'm sure you can see it right there. And that key takes the blunt of the force used when you're pulling something with this machine. You can see it better over here. That's what you get right there, and then it goes inside the wheel. That key is like a flywheel key, and you can shear it easily, and you're not going nowhere. And behind this little black piece right here, all you have, right there, actually, you can see it, and all you have is a little C-clip. That's what you have on these. Now you come over here, and I don't have an example of a transmission for that because I sold the one that I had. We come over here and we get a look on this 112. As you can see, there's the real hub. And also I'd like you to take note that the axle housing comes out all the way to the hub. That's another thing I'd like you to notice. Same with over here on this wheel. Now, on the 140, it's set up a little bit different. However, it's pretty much the same. You can see this has rear brakes on both sides, so that's what that deal is right there. But as you can see, that goes out. Same with over there. That's got a bad axle seal. And then this right here is a transmission out of a 112. This is the same thing that is in that 112 sitting right there that we were just looking at. If we pop the hub off, instead of a keyed shaft, you can see this has an actual spline shaft. And if you look in here, this has actual splines in it too. This one, no, this one's not wore out. And then what holds these on here, it's a snap ring instead of a C-ring. It's a full ring. A snap ring is a full ring. It's not the greatest setup, and I really wish that they would have used a bolt like what they did on the 140s, a bolt or a nut instead of a C-clip or a snap ring. But it does work, and that's a better setup in my overall opinion than what is on the riding mower sitting right there. Another thing also I would like to point out is hitches. If you take a look at the back of this machine, you can see there's not really anywhere to hook anything. This is also the size of the hitch right here. You can see how thin that is, and also get a look at that rear end that it has. You can see that's not as heavy duty as the one on over there that I just showed you off of that 112. But right there's your hitch plate. You get a good look at that. You can even see that hitch plate is bent. It's not straight. We come over here and we take a look at the hitch plate on this 112. As you can see, this one has some reinforcement underneath of it, and it's fairly thick. Same with the one over here on this 140. You can see how thick that hitch is. Now this right here is a sleeve hitch. That's also another thing about this one. I can put a sleeve hitch on it. I can pull a plow behind it. I could pull a disc. I could pull a chisel. All sorts of different attachments for that sleeve hitch. I can pull that blade that's on there and do other things with it. I've worked this tractor. I've worked that tractor. I can't really work this mower because it will not stand up to it. This is a topic that gets brought up a lot. When it comes down to it, is engines. Does the horsepower make any difference from a tractor compared to a mower? The answer is no. My 110 that I have has an 8-horse Kohler on it. I've seen garden tractors with 6-horse engines on them, even 4-horse engines on them. The size of the engine does not make a difference. This right here is a 12-horse. That 140 has a 14-horse. That 112 has a 12-horse. There's no horsepower does not make a difference. The position of the engine, however, yes and no at the same time. In my opinion, I would rather have a drive shaft than a belt drive, kind of like how that 140 is. Now, but that doesn't make a difference. There are shaft drive riding mowers, and I've had one. And then that 112 over there is belt driven, you know. So I mean, it kind of goes both ways. I would rather have a shaft driven machine. However, at the same time, a belt is nice to have. You can slip the belt a little bit and not put as much stress on a drive shaft, which a drive shaft, in my opinion, would hold up better, and you won't have to replace it after every so many years, and it's not going to dry rot on you, but, you know, still. I go back to the same argument. Engine position, I don't like these vertical shaft engines. I like the horizontal shaft engines setups, but that's just me. You get a look at this frame under here. This is just a piece of sheet steel that they took and bent up on a press, and they made it work for what they were doing on here. You can also see how thin that is. I'm not sure. I wouldn't even think that's it. No, I don't know. I don't even think that's 1/8 of an inch. I don't know. Now that we've looked at this, I'm trying to think of other things. Oh, here, we can go over this. Let's take a look at this front axle, shall we? This front axle is a piece of tube steel, you can see, and it's not really held on there all that great. That's your front axle on this. And also get a look at your front spindles. As you can see, they're not very heavy duty looking. We'll come over here to this 140. Take a look at the front spindle on that. Look how beefy that is. Get a look at that front axle. You know, look at how stout that is and how beefy that is. You can get a look at this over here. And then up underneath the tractor. And there's not really much else to show under the tractor. We'll look under the hood on here because why not? You can see. And then I guess we'll look under the hood on this one too, because why not? As you can see. Tires don't make a difference. That tractor right there has, I mean, they're turf tires. Yeah, they're turf tires. This one over here has ag tires on it. Tires don't make a difference, not one bit. Like I said before, it's the frame and the capability of the machine and what you can do with it. We'll come over here and we will take a look. This right here is a frame off of a 1980s Murray riding mower that I had that I stripped and parted. You can see this is just a piece of pressed steel. They bent it up right here to help reinforce it. In my opinion, it didn't do all that great. I've actually driven this machine. I didn't drive it. I pulled it behind a John Deere B and sat on it. But it definitely had a lot of flex to it. It wasn't really all that great. It's not really all that solidly built like how one of these guys would be, you know. And then also we take a look back here at where the transmission was mounted. This right here is where the transmission was mounted. And it was just a couple of U-bolts that went down and up. That's what held the transmission in. Nothing up in the front, nothing holding it in the back, just those two U-bolts. So if one of those U-bolts was to break, your transmission would swing out and you'd be screwed. We come up here and take a look at this. This is the frame off of, I want to say, a 1968. I would think it is a 68 112. We take a look at this. Right there is where the transmission bolts in. These 3 bolts. Then there's 3 on the other side. And then there would be a thing here. There should be a thing here for it to mount to up here. What am I missing? I feel like I'm missing something. Yes, right there. Unless the 68 didn't have that. Maybe the 6. Huh, interesting. I'll have to make note of that. Oh, I know why. I pulled a bracket out of it, that's why. And then come over here and we take a look at it. Look at the frame on this. Look at this frame right here. See how thick that is? And then also you take a look right here. That's the thickness of the frame on this compared to what we saw in that Simplicity. You can already see this is a lot beefier of a machine than what that Simplicity is, even right there. And then it's also got reinforcement underneath there. You know, this is an all over better setup. And then, so yeah. Now that is the frame. That's that machine right there. That's an older frame actually than what that tractor is. That would be this one, the frame off of a machine like that right there, my 69 patios or my 68 112 sitting over there next to that round fender, or this 110. That would be what that frame is. That 112 sitting in there is a little bit newer and a little bit different. I was going to bring a 140 frame up here to compare to, but it's pretty much the exact same as that, all except for a little more open. And that's pretty much an open in the front. That's pretty much it. So, yeah. Trying to think if there's anything else really to go over. I've pretty much gone over the frame and everything else on there. I want to say that's probably about as far into it as I can get. Now you can put, just because you can put a mower deck under something does not make it a mower. You know, that's not its sole purpose. Yes, I can throw a mower deck under this 140. Yes, I could throw a mower deck under that 112. But again, you can do a lot more with a garden tractor than just cut grass. You can take these and work them. I could do my whole driveway with that. I can plow my driveway with that. I can plow my garden with that. Same with that. That one over there, you'd be lucky to make it last a whole season cutting grass. So there you go. Now, there is also the debate of manual versus hydrostatic. This tractor right here is hydrostatic. That one right there is a manual. That does not make a difference at all. That tractor right there will work just about as hard as that one will. I've also had this one. I'm not proud of it, but I've had this one in a tractor pull, and it pulled pretty well, being a hydrostatic transmission. So there you go. I haven't done that with that. However, I've done some pretty interesting things with that one, and it's done pretty good. So there you go. And then I get this one brought up all the time, and I'm just about sick of it. The brand of a machine does not make it anything at all. It does not mean anything. It just tells you who built it. For example, Simplicity. I have people tell me Simplicity never built garden tractors. That is false. I've been told Alice Chalmers never made garden tractors. That is false. That Homelight right there is an Alice Chalmers built tractor. That Cub Cadet, I've had people tell me that the International never built a garden tractor. That is false. That Cub right there has worked pretty hard on this channel, and I know for a fact it's been seen. Gravely, I've had people tell me Gravely's never built a garden tractor. I don't have a Gravely around here anymore, or else I'd show you one. That is false. So there you go. Brand does not make a difference in anything. All that brand does is tell you who built the machine. For example, that's a John Deere. That's a Homelight, but it's an Alice Chalmers. That's an International Cub. So there you go. And then I'm sure all of you, if you've been around here for a while, know what's underneath that cover. There you go. All right, guys. Hopefully this video helps somebody out. I get asked this all the time, and I just wanted to make a video so I didn't have to ask the question anymore. Or I didn't have to answer the question anymore. I could just send whoever asked the link and say, figure it out yourself. So there you go. All right, guys. Hope this helped. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I left out. I don't really think there is. I think I pretty much covered everything. So there you go. All right, guys. I know what's missing out of that. There's a back plate that's supposed to be in here. That's what's missing. The transmission bolts to the back plate. I knew that there was something missing out of that. So yeah, there you go. All right, guys. Take care.